Practically speaking, one of the top priorities for the church today needs to be equipping families to do family worship in the home. Statistically, 15% of the adult Christians in our churches grew up in homes that practiced family worship, regular family Bible reading, regular family devotions. And as a result of only 15% of our adults growing up like that, only 5% of Christian families today practice family worship, practice family devotions in the home. So one of the top priorities for Great Commission churches today who want to advance the gospel in the next generation is to recast vision for what family worship looks like in the home. I would encourage you, all of us as church leaders, we know what it's like to run programs. And for some churches, program is a dirty word. They'll say, Rob, we're not a program church, we're a discipleship church. And I'm like, well, do you do anything? Do you do any stuff? They're like, oh, we do lots of stuff. Okay, well, programs, things we do at the church to advance the gospel. I want you to think of family worship as the most important program that you're trying to run for your next generation ministries. And family worship is in the homes, in the apartments, with the grandparents, with the parents of your congregation. One of the ways to do this, and you can do this from a Christian education standpoint, or you can do this from a preaching and teaching standpoint from a Sunday morning sermon, is that rather than have the sermon and then send home questions for families to talk about, or rather than have Sunday school with the follow-up sheet, hey, here's what we talked about in Sunday school today. If you're a good mom or dad, it doesn't say that, but if you're a good mom or dad, you can follow up on the conversation from Sunday school with these questions. Instead of having church first and home second, have home first and church second. So take next week's sermon text. Send it home this week, send it home this Sunday with, hey, here are 3 questions in the text that I'd like for you in your homes and your apartments to talk about in preparation for worship for next week, so that all the children in the church, the youth in the church, and then the adults experience the text at home prior to Sunday. Same thing with your youth and children's ministries. Maybe you send home a little paper with a 3rd grader, parent picks them up. Instead of taking home the paper that says, here's what we learned in Sunday school this week, take next week's paper, send it home this Sunday with Take the Lead up at the top. Next week in Sunday school, we're going to be learning about prayer. Here's the key scriptures we're going to be looking at. Here's 3 questions we'd like to talk about with your children prior to Sunday school next week, so that mom and dad, grandma and grandpa are the primary disciplers, the primary Bible teachers, and the Sunday school or youth group is the reinforcement to what happens in the home.